Ah, this feels good. I mean, I miss wearing this thing, even though it's not a tie, and it was just for a belt for one of my dresses. Um, it feels good to wear this again, just as a tie. So yeah, welcome back to the show, Doctor Who. Welcome back to the show. This time, we're looking back at the newest episode of the show. In this case, the episode The Well. But before I get into talking about it, though, I have a question for you. We are for you. So let's get right in and talking about the episode The Well. So this is the third episode of season 2. So what happened in it? Well, far in the future, a tough, brutal planet, on a devastating mining colony has only one survivor. To discover the truth, the Doctor and Bel must face absolute terror of what is actually going on the planet. So this episode, like if you've already had the opportunity to check it out, and if you haven't yet, I'm gonna give you just a bit of my thoughts on it. I thought the acting from this one was really good. I thought the production design from it was really good. Yes, I can understand some folks saying like, yeah, the bit of suspense was all right. I thought it did a good job. Like in the fact that it wasn't immediately gonna tell you, hey, what is actually going on in a way, like what it consists of and all that. So yeah, I thought non spoilery. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. I watched it this morning. So yeah, that's just spoilers. So but if you have seen the show, let's get straight into talking spoilers. So this episode was in a way a sequel to a David Tennant episode known as Midnight.
Planet cold. It was called Midnight. I've been here before.
In this episode, basically, the Doctor and Belinda, they end up discovering a woman who is left on the planet when everyone seems to have passed. And one thing I really like about this episode is in the fact they decided to use sign language for one of the characters, in this case, Alice. Anyway, so I thought that was really cool, anyway. So it, said, hey, we're gonna use this as a way of, you know... And yeah, I kind of like that idea. And honestly, it kind of reminded me a little bit of a Blumhouse film, kind of. Mostly in the fact that, in a way, there's always that bit of the suspense of, say, hey, Alice is gonna say, hey, you do not want to come behind me. There's something behind me. Don't come behind me. And all that. And eventually, at first, all the crew members that are part of the ship, they go, say, hey, maybe we aren't so sure about this doctor fellow, in a way. Because, he has the, psychic paper to, say, hey, this is actually what's going on, and all that stuff, so, yeah. And, yeah, I kind of like it at first, we had, one soldier who's going, say, hey, I don't trust this, I don't trust the doctor, I don't trust anything that's going on. We're gonna walk around her, and we're gonna figure out, what all this supernatural nonsense actually is going on. And, yeah, I kind of like the ideas visually in the fact that, whenever they are approaching Alice, basically, they have the idea of a clock, in a way. And yeah, one of the things that made it fairly interesting, at least I think, is in the fact that she was the last one, so everyone else had tried to kill the other crew members just to get rid of the unseen monster behind them in a way. And yeah, I kind of like the idea of you might not there's like this force that's behind you, but in a way, you're not actually able to see what it is. In a way, I actually kind of like that idea. It has a bit of like very classic horror subconscious roots. At least I think it does. And yeah, I can understand like if someone said say, hey, we don't really get a full idea understanding of all these characters in a way. Um, and yes, I can understand someone going to say, oh great, another episode where the Doctor cries a lot.
He knows my name.
And yes, I'm gonna say this. It seems um, like I may have not realized this, but it seems like after a while, it seems the Doctor has been really been kind of more of wanting to try to stop, trying to make sure everyone gets out alive no matter what as best as he can. You know, trying to make sure everyone can survive from whatever situation suddenly everyone is in. And yeah, I kind of like the ending in which eventually they're able to get rid of the monster, but one person, I think it was Sarah, I believe her name was, she ends up getting, you know, taken over by the monster in a way. And yeah, I kind of thought that was a bit of a dramatic element of the story.
Serving Officer Shia Castalian Squadron 775. I ran as a child. I ran from the wildlands. I ran from those monsters and never looked back.
The ending though, when everyone say okay, they're getting back, Bel, the Doctor and Belinda, they're back on the TARDIS. But I do like how the episode is able to say, hey, keep watching because maybe we'll be able to return to this, idea of this threat, this unknown threat in a way. So yeah, I thought this episode was pretty good. Enjoyed it. See you next time.